Hello, my beautiful baddies. Welcome back to yet another episode of Your Inner Baddie Speaking. As you go about healing and you're kind of working through what stays in your life, what no longer aligns in your life, people that should stay, people that should go, one thing that's like very, very important, I would say, is understanding that your inner circle is going to define a lot of the progress that you make. It's going to define a lot of the decisions that you make. I mean, it's nothing new that people have talked about. The people that you hold close or your tribe is your vibe, like that type of a thing. And it's very true with your inner circle. With healing, you really want to be diligent about sort of monitoring who is close to you, who is not. And I don't mean this as like, oh my God, we've got to like run background checks and like you've got to be, super hyper vigilant when you're kind of like looking at your friends or your family or what have you. But we've done a whole episode on, editing your sort of life from an external standpoint and an internal standpoint. And this is where the external really comes into play, because it is true when they say like your vibe attracts your tribe, or, they say that the people that you surround yourself are going to define a lot of how you act, what you do, because people influence you. You influence people, and people therefore influence you. It's a two-way street. And it's so important when you are healing and you are going through all of this that you be mindful about who's around you, because your inner circle, it's so crucial. Like, I don't think I really realized this until I started editing people in my life. And don't get me wrong, like we've all had relationships that have ended, or, friendships that have ended. And it's unfortunate whenever that happens. But when you start looking at it and analyzing it, not things that just happen or happen to you, you really take the time to take a look at who's around you, and you're actually putting in that sort of time and effort to really say, okay, what's the value? Are they good in my life? Are they, on that path as me? Like, are they going to lift me up? Are they going to be the support that I need? And now that you've really been analyzing and taking a look at who's surrounding you, it can start to get to a point where you notice things. You notice maybe that person isn't that happy for me when good things happen to me, or maybe that person never picks up when I need them, or they never respond when I need them, or I tell them that I'm going through something and they don't check on me, or they don't, show up or show that support that you need. And during times of healing, like, that's crucial, right? Like, your inner circle can make or break you during your healing time. And as I took a look around, the people that were around me, it wasn't all like sunshine and rainbows. There were definitely people that I had to say goodbye to, or I had to acknowledge, like, okay, I wanted them in my life, but for one reason or another, they've shown their true colors, and it's just not the type of person that you should surround yourself with anymore. Like, the more that you heal and sort of level up your confidence and feel, your inner baddie becoming more badass, like, you need people around who are good to you, who, are reciprocating in friendships or relationships, who are going to be that support system. And I'm not saying that like you need to find people who are perfect, who are there for you 24/7. It's obviously unrealistic. People have lives, they've got their own shit going on. But what you would do for other people, people should reciprocate as well. and they can reciprocate in different ways, but as long as you feel like they are truly there for you. And there's nothing worse, in my opinion. Okay, probably there's like a lot of worse things, but I mean, like, when you're analyzing people being in your life, friendship specifically, like that, I think is what's so hard about like creating your inner circle and refining your inner circle, is that you don't want to let go of people who you chose to be in your life. You know, like, it's not a relationship. You're not having like an intimate portion with them. You're not doing all of that. But like, your friends, it's so hard to say goodbye to them, or to decide like, okay, they really don't have my best interests at heart. Or like, oh my God, I never really realized that they never clapped when I won. Or they never were there to celebrate when I actually had something going on that I was proud of. Like, your friends should lift you up in the same way that you want to lift yourself up. And the inner circle that you have, like, it gets smaller. I gotta say, like, I had the most friends when I would let people walk all over me, when I would people please beyond, what I wish I did. I had more friends when I had less boundaries, when I had less standards, when I demanded less from people. And I don't mean like demands like, oh my God, like, you better show up for me for like something so stupid. Like, I mean, just having expectations. That's probably a better way to put it than demands. Demands sounds like I'm probably like the worst friend. Not what I'm trying to relay here. But setting expectations, I mean, you do have to have expectations as you would for anyone in your life. You can't just let people do whatever and get away with it, right? Or maybe you had a friend who was used to getting away with everything, and suddenly you're like, no, I need an apology, or I need changed behavior, and they don't do that for you. They're not used to that being the way that they have to operate in your friendship, and they took advantage of it. And now that you're standing up for yourself, they don't feel that they owe that to you. So that might be some way that you have to look at that and go, okay, if that's how you're gonna show up for me, maybe I need to show myself out the door, right? Because having a lot of people does not equal having a good inner circle. Like, it's a terrifying thing, at least for me. Like, I liked having a lot of friends because you have different people to go to. You feel like you constantly are busy. You have what you think are people who are there for you, right? And you have a lot of people who are there for you. So you're like, I'm not alone, and I always have someone when I call, right? Not always the case. Not necessarily. Just because you have quantity doesn't mean you have quality. And as you sort of, make those judgment calls on, okay, I don't know if that person aligns with me anymore, or I don't want to tolerate that behavior anymore, or like, I don't want to put up with certain things anymore. That's okay, and that's you standing up for yourself and being more confident in who you are. I think that's a good thing, to be very wary of who you have around you and make those decisions. Those are tough decisions to make, but making them ultimately is good for you. It's better for you, and it sucks. Like, you see yourself with this many friends, and then slowly but surely you kind of wind down, right? And now suddenly your inner circle's small, and it's not what you're used to. And because it's not what you're used to, suddenly it kind of feels uncomfortable. It feels weird. It doesn't feel good sometimes. Like, I had to learn that as I had less friends in my inner circle, I kind of started to feel lonely. And it wasn't that I didn't have friends at all. It was that I didn't have as many friends. And to me, it felt like there was this sort of gap, or this sort of, a spot where people used to be. But it takes an adjustment period of learning just because I had all those people and not all of them are here anymore doesn't mean that that absence of them is a bad thing, because you will find that the people who are left, because they are of such quality, you won't notice in such a way over time, because they will show up for you in all of the ways that you needed, because those were the people who were truly backing you, who were truly supporting you, who were truly there for you. The other ones, I'm not saying that they weren't there for you in certain capacities, but if you feel that like they are not meant to be in your inner circle anymore, you felt that for a reason. There's a reason behind that. And ultimately, you're just getting rid of the noise. Any extra noise. Now you have quality that surrounds you. And it does take that adjustment period. It took an adjustment period for me. Man, I was like, I had sessions with my therapist where I was like, it feels kind of lonely. It doesn't feel like, you know, I really have friends anymore, or like I don't have as many people to call, and therefore like I might have less plans because I don't have as many people to have plans with. And that's all okay. Any change is an adjustment period, but don't go backwards because you are adjusting. You will probably regret that, because going backwards, it means that you're not staying true to your boundaries. It means you're not staying true to your decisions. And ultimately, it means you're kind of betraying yourself. So stick with it. Stick with that adjustment period. But when you get down to a smaller circle, I do feel like that is a sign of you healing. It was a sign for me that I was healing. I was no longer surrounded by people who were taking advantage of me. I was no longer surrounded by people who were trying to like almost steal some of that light that was, you know, exuding off of me, stealing some of that, like, just vibes, you know, like vibe killers. My God. Like, it's so nice to not have vibe killers or negative people. Like, some people I truly had love for, but I was like, you're so negative. And now that I've turned, you know, my negative thoughts into positive ones, I've turned negative actions into positive ones, and I really try to breathe that everything works out for me, and that I don't need to be as anxious, or I don't need to be as down, and I don't need to, you know, spread negativity, because good things happen to me. And the more that I believe that good things happen to me, and the more that I had good thoughts, the more that good shit showed up for me. And I realized that that pattern of negativity and that pattern of negative talk was bringing negativity into my life. So like, had to do away with that, had to throw that shit out, right? And it's weird, because when you had those friends when you were negative, you didn't notice, right? I didn't notice. Like, I've had friends who were super negative and I didn't notice because I was also negative. And as I made changes, it became so abundantly clear that like, they're so draining. It's so draining to be negative. And I didn't want to be around draining energy anymore. Like, it truly drained me. I'd leave the hangout being like, fuck, like, I need to like listen to some manifestation or some positivity. Like, I need to watch Hope Core on TikTok. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I needed to recharge my battery. But like, that's how bad it was. Is you see it for what it truly is when you remove yourself from that. And that's the same thing with, you know, analyzing your inner circle. Like, you truly see people for who they are in your life as you start healing and seeing things for what they truly are, because now you are aligned with who you are. You know your boundaries. You know your standards. And so you can truly take a look at those people and go, my God, like, I can't believe I tolerated that. And that's okay. Like, they were there for a purpose. They were in your life because also maybe you were in that same stage. But as you heal, like, you truly do want people who are uplifting and people who are, and I'm not saying you can't vent with your friends, because believe me, a good vent session, it can fix things. Swear to God, sometimes all I need is a cocktail, good friend by my side, and boom, done. I am feeling good. I'm getting all that shit out, all that negativity out, and now I'm good because I can move on, right? But what you don't want is that like cycle, just stuck in that cycle. You're venting, they're venting, you vent, they vent, you vent, they vent. It's just negative, right? And you're on that positive, you're on that confident, you're on that badass journey, right? So you don't want to stay trapped in your old ways. And I think, you know, with all of this talk of me saying like analyze your friend group, analyze your relationships, it's really just that. It's really sometimes you outgrow people. Sometimes as you see things differently and you move different, you talk different, you are different, you're no longer going to align with people who were doing the things that you used to do. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong, you know, they're on their own journey on their own time, and maybe you're going to help them on their journey and they come along with you. That's fine as well. But don't keep people around who are exhibiting those bad behaviors or those old negative behaviors that you had because you feel like you have to. Those people might keep you down. Like, I have watched videos of other people saying this too. So like, I know I'm not alone in this, but as you really elevate and as you heal, your circle will come with you or they'll drop off because that's dead weight. People will hold you down if you let them because you have to change, right? If you've changed, but you allow somebody to still pull on you or you know, do that negativity or those old behaviors or things that you no longer align with, you can't move forward if you're holding on to the past, right? Same goes for people. And this is something that has really resonated with me with all of this inner circle work and understanding that quality is better than quantity and that your circle will get smaller as you heal because not everybody is going to be in alignment with you anymore. Is I've seen a quote, I think people have, you know, talked about this, is like, as you lose people or as you decide to let go of people, everything you let go of opens the doors to what you are ready to receive. It opens the doors for something new and something better. And I find that extremely comforting because as somebody with anxiety who like, it can be easy to be like, it's so hard to let go of what you're familiar with because you know, what else is out there that unexpected and the unexpected can be scary, but it can also be that positive unexpected. It can be that, you know, I don't know who I'm going to meet, but someone down the road, you know, now that I've let go of, you know, some of the people in my life, I am now open to having people come in who do align with me. I am open to having a new relationship or a new friendship that's on that next level with me that can bring you to another level. Like, I love meeting people and adding to my circle now, or, you know, just meeting people who are on that level because it is so true. Like, it's hard to let go, but when you do, and you meet someone else or something else comes into your life, you kind of understand that I would never have had that happen had I stayed looking back. I can't look forward and receive if I'm looking back, right? And I love the idea that I can now have the capacity to take on better things, better opportunities, better people. You know, what's that old, like, oh my God, I'm going to age myself here. That old, like, Papa John's thing, better pizza, better ingredients, better this, better that. And people like go on and on and on. And it truly is like you get that better in your life when you let go of what's not meant for you. And your inner circle's that same thing. Like the people I meet nowadays, like I can tell a difference in the people I meet. I can tell a difference in the authenticity that I'm seeing from it, and the confidence that I see in them. The way that they support me is different than people used to support me. And I'm not saying like I love my inner circle. That's why I kept them around. That's why, I vibe with them. But it's so refreshing as well to see more and more people that align with those same people that you were with, right? The ones that stuck around, the ones that you stuck to, right? You now have more people that are like that. And the more people that I bring into my life, or that I, have the capacity to meet and to receive into my life, the more that I'm like, oh my God, another person who wants to like clap when I win. Oh my God, another person that like aligns on, wanting to take that trip and do that thing. And another person that like hypes me up about, the goals I have in my life. Like, and a prime example of that is like, as I've, been open to meeting more people and have let go of other people, I've met some new people, right? And I remember meeting two women at like, girl, you will know who you are when you listen to this, but we like were at this winery event and we were with a bunch of people, and the next thing you know, it's like just the three of us, and we are just, when you have those like deep conversations and all of a sudden you guys are all in alignment, you all are like, holy shit, did we just become best friends? Name that movie. Whoever's listening, let me know what that movie is. Hopefully you're as much of a movie nerd as I am, but all of a sudden it really does feel like you click with somebody, right? And I have loved becoming friends with them and exploring different like avenues of our friendship. And I'll never forget, like, I was out with one of them with some other people, and we were chatting with people throughout the night because like we just make friends, right? And she was like beaming to anyone that we met how I had this podcast and how it was, amazing and that they should listen to it. And I just, like, it kind of, like, stopped me in my tracks a little bit. That somebody who was new in my life was so supportive. I didn't even ask. Like, I've never said, like, oh, can you go and tell people about the podcast, or like, please listen to it. Like, I hope that people listen to it. Like, if they'll get anything from it or they resonate from it. But like the fact that she listened at all, and then the fact that she was just telling all of these people, I mean, it was heartwarming in like such a way. Like I'm like all warm and fuzzy inside thinking about it, because it's just so nice to be surrounded by people who want the best for you and who support you and want to shout it from the rooftops of your successes and your projects and your goals, and with nothing in their hearts except for wanting you to succeed. And it's beautiful to witness. And it just like, it reminded me that I didn't always have these people in my life, and I didn't always meet people who would do something like that for me. And watching that happen made me, one, it made me like smile from ear to ear, but it reminded me of why I do this. It reminded me of why I did so much work and so much hard work to heal. And it reminded me of why I let go of certain people in my life and why I did create the inner circle that I have. Because that's what you deserve in your life. You deserve a friend who says, either in front of you or in rooms that you're not even in, saying good things about you, talking about your goals, talking about encouraging people to help you achieve your goals. That's what you deserve. And that's why it's so crucial, especially when you're healing and you need to progress and you need to be reminded of why you're doing what you're doing. You need people like that to remind you and to help you level up, right? And something that I've also learned when meeting friends, I think this is a big inner circle dynamic as well, is that like, because I feel like I'm a good-natured person and I feel like people have good intentions, I am the type of person that's like, here's me, here's everything, here's my story, let's really get to know each other on a super deep level. And that's how I approached friendships, right? Well, now I do it a little differently. I let somebody in. I'm not closed off, but I don't open up my heart completely from the get-go. I let them show me their intentions as I show them my intentions, and then I will fully open up in a progressive state, right? Like I won't do it from day one, which is what I used to do. And unfortunately, that got me into friendships where they could take advantage of the information that I said to them. They could use those things against me, but also they didn't open up to me in the same way that I did. And I was like, here, I'm loud, I'm proud, like, here's everything about me. And that's not how everyone operates. And it kind of got me into binds with friendships because they didn't have my best interests at heart. But how could I know that from day one, right? Just because you get along with somebody doesn't mean that, like, they're going to end up being the best friend that you needed. And so now I approach relationships and friendships a little differently. I kind of slowly feel it out, right? I'll open up as they open up. It's a give and take. And I find that doing that means that you're feeling out these people, right? You're kind of feeling out who they are and you're seeing them for who they are rather than hoping because you've already opened up so much that like they will have your best interest or they will be that supportive friend. It's kind of like you've sunken all of that trust into them and therefore there's like this blind trust with them. And sadly, that can fuck with the dynamic a little bit because you shouldn't give your trust blindly. You should feel them out as they're feeling you out. And that slow burn, I know it's like, well, we got, it's only gets talked about when you're talking about like relationships and falling in love, but it works with friendships too. And I've found that it's something that's been really helpful for me to really discern on who should enter my life, right? In that capacity. And sometimes it's not that like I don't like the person, but it might be, hey, we vibe, but I can see that maybe we can vibe on like a let's get drinks or like group settings, but maybe you don't need to be in my inner circle. Maybe you're not going to be that friend that shouts my, accomplishments from the rooftops. Maybe you're just going to be, I don't know, what do they call them? Fringe friends. And I'm not trying to like disrespect friends. I think all friends are glorious and you need them all for different purposes. But you gotta be strict on your inner circle. Like this shit is a nightclub and it's exclusive. Not everyone's getting the table, right? Some people are just general admission. They're not gonna have the VIP table access. They're not gonna have the bottle service. That's you. Like whatever you gotta picture it as, whether it's a club or whether it's like, I don't know, club for me is just fun. But like sometimes you gotta have a bouncer. You gotta have security that's not letting everybody in. And newsflash, that security is you. Sometimes it's your other friends who will be like, I don't know about that person. And sometimes you should listen to them because they might know or catch a vibe that you did not, right? Like you don't know. You'll find out in time. But you gotta be strict with your inner circle, like guest list only, exclusive invites only, because your energy is not something that everybody deserves. Your path is not one that everyone will walk. When you shine brighter because you are healing, more and more people will be attracted to that. Like, I'll never forget, whether you're into this or not, I did an angel reading, and I remember like partway through, he had said to me that you're a light, but you have to be careful by being a bright, shining light in this world, because it's not just going to attract other light, other stars, right? It's going to attract moths. It's going to attract people that see it, want it, should not be around it. So you've got to be very, very smart about who you let into your life, but more importantly, who you let in that inner circle, because they are going to be the people that either lift you up or drag you down. And you're not doing all this healing for nothing. Like, oh my God, we are not here to let other people derail us. So let go of the dead weight so you can open up to the possibility and to the opportunity to meet other people who are going to be more in alignment with your inner circle, who are going to be more in alignment with who you are now and who you're working to become. That confident bad bitch deserves to be surrounded by other confident badasses, right? Like, we want a whole tribe of confident people so you can lift them up and they can lift you up, and vice versa. So I really encourage you. I know that this is very difficult, but take a look at your inner circle and maybe make a few adjustments, because you're not letting go of anything that is not going to be replaced by something better. So think of that when you're having maybe a tough time working through this one, because I know I had a hell of a tough time with this one. I do not like getting rid of people in my life. I want to hold on for dear life. But now I'm so happy that I let go, because now the people who I do have in my life and the people that I meet in my life, I never even imagined by being surrounded by such good people. And I'm so happy to say that I am surrounded by them. And that's what your inner circle should be like. So do what you got to do to get that strict access, put yourself on security duty, okay? Put yourself like, we're not just letting anybody in. And as you go about that process, you will learn more and more, even though it's going to be an adjustment, that it's a worthwhile adjustment. All right, with that, say it with me. I'm a fucking baddie. All right, love y'all till next time.